to another episode of Addie's Podcast, where we share our professional experiences to help educate, mentor, and provide insight to our active duty veterans and those considering entering the military. We back. We've been out here for a minute. You know, it was good, AP.
What's up, man? What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, man, we're just rocking, man. This business, taking care of things. Appreciate the support and everything that you do with me, man. People don't see what goes behind scenes, what goes on, conversations, real open conversations, and doing this thing. Like, we are really serious. We believe in this. We come from an environment. We grew up in two different areas, but we joined together because we share the same passion, the same vision about things, and just giving back, you know, and having fun doing it, you know, and we doing it. I did it active duty. He's still doing it. He have a few months left before he hits that 30-year mark. And we'll talk about all that too today. But yeah, man.
So there's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, how was the cruise, man?
Cruise was great. Cruise was great, man. Shout out to those people that attended, that came through, showed up. We had a great time. It was our first time doing it. It's going on the cruise, it's hanging out, you know, and that's what the association is really trying to go towards. Just people coming back together, hanging out. You know, we in a different world. You know, we don't have to wake up, or I got to get to work early, or some still do. But it's in a different cause. But it's just more like I can wake up and do nothing. You know, I can just chill. And I get together with some brothers and sisters that I serve with that I don't know, that I just met. We still have things in common. Okay. So that's what it was all about, man. But the cruise was great. Shout out to my people that help me, support me all the time doing that. That's Cynthia, Cola, Vaughn, you know, Ford Tough, you know, Vaughn, she just goes with the flow. She's like an entertainer, you know, out the crowd. So they're my OG, Uncle Famous. So, and Jeff Barlow, Eric Tate, Jerry Pryor, like these dudes is like day ones.
So that's the Goat Locker Hall of Fame Association, right?
Yeah.
I mean, y'all gonna try to do it again next year?
Oh yeah, next year, man. So like we doing it once a year, you know, get everybody getting together, having a good time. We still got lives, we still do things, but it's just to get together, have some fun, not have to sleep up. You know, you could be on a ship and not have to worry about sleeping next to a hydrant. You know, because you know, like, hey, you retired. You know, you living your life, so
you ain't got to stay and watch.
You ain't got to stay and watch. You know. You can get up when you want to. You can do what you want to and have fun doing it. So
what if like an active duty person want to come? Or
we had that. I don't want to shun them away because they still Chiefs. Yeah. You know, they Chiefs. So if they want to come out and have a good time, it's still camaraderie. You're going to be a retired Chief one day. So just come hang out, you know, and show love. I mean,
that's what's up. And then,
if you see some things, you see some things. Yeah. We grown.
Right. Okay. And then the day party.
Day party, great. This showing, appreciate that, man. This showing love to those legendary Chiefs that, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that. So people talk about like the Goat Locker Hall of Fame. Well, everybody shouldn't have a jacket. Everybody shouldn't have a jacket. Why not? Some Chiefs aren't as great as other Chiefs. You know, some are great at what they do. Some make the job look easy. We all went through it together. Some Master Chief selected those chiefs that you don't think that's great.
Okay.
Whether they got the training, they got the mentorship, they got the guidance, they still a chief. They still answer the call. They still do things. They still a leader, a mother, a father to people that they didn't birth. You know, they still go handle things. They still go do things. They may not be the greatest chief in our eyes, but they're a chief. We can't take it away from them. So you have those chiefs, so they deserve, you know, they deserve that honor. But then you got some legendary, which is different.
Okay, so you saying there's differences, but everyone deserved the jacket.
They did a job. They did a job that a lot of people can't do.
Okay,
a lot of people can't do.
Devil's advocate for me.
Okay.
So what about? Okay, so Hall of Fame,
right?
Okay, very prestige in in that honor. You have your football Hall of Fame, you got your basketball Hall of Fame, and that's a short group.
Right.
It's only like 15, 16 teams. To make up the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. Each team have about 14, 15 people to a roster, but everybody is not going to go into the NBA Hall of Fame.
No.
The numbers matter.
They do.
Them stats matter. Some people there's second, third time ballot Hall of Famers. Then some people it's first time ballot Hall of Famers. Some people name will never be on the ballot at all.
Right.
So again, in comparison, talk to me.
You got even that person that don't make it to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
We know hood legends that play basketball.
Right.
You say, wow, that dude's supposed to win, but he didn't make it. But that other guy who only got 30 seconds per game all season, he's still a great basketball player.
Yeah, he made it to the league.
He's still a great basketball player, right?
He made it to the league. Yeah.
Made it to the league, so we got to honor that. No matter, I don't know you, but you play in the league. Oh, okay. You have to be
good to play in the league. That's what they say.
You have to be good.
Just because what we see on TV, that don't mean that they not a good ball player. So that's a fact.
That's that. It has never been over 10,000 NBA players. NBA players. Right. Not even over 10,000 NBA players. We outnumber them as Chiefs.
We do.
We outnumber them.
We so
right.
When I listen to that, I'm hearing that we might not be able to get all legendary guys in, but it's enough fabric for 10,000 Jackets.
Oh, yeah. It's 20, 30,000, 40,000 Chiefs.
Yeah. I'm talking about like annually,
Well, you got the legendary stats.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, you got the legendary stats. So when everybody's not legendary, Hall of Famers.
But so everyone is a Hall of Famer, but everyone is not legendary Hall of Fame.
Correct. So that's why it's a different patch for legendary Hall of Famers. And people can say, well, what constitutes a legendary Hall of Famer? Oh, you know them when you see them. Okay. You know them when you see them.
Okay.
I promise you, people that you serve with and you done the job, like NBA players, basketball players, they go overseas to enjoy a football game or basketball game. That's a big deal to them. No, we serve over there. We don't just hang out. We ain't got nothing else better to do. I mean, we enjoy it over there, but we serve over there. For them to be away from their family for 60 days, they family like, oh my God, you've been gone that long. You like 60 days.
Right.
What we do is not normal. I promise you, what we do is not normal. Like, you got mothers that give birth to children, and they got to separate from their child. The child might be 2 years old.
Right.
My sisters, they never dealt with that. They never dealt with the separation like that. So you got to show love to those people that do things that a lot of people can't do. So that's why, in my opinion, as Chiefs, we all do jobs. Whether you great at it, we might be average, but we do things that's different than anybody else. Like we was at a retirement ceremony yesterday, and the commander said, the CO, every sailor needs a chief, no matter the pay grade.
Right.
He talking admirals included.
But it's a certain type of chief.
Oh, there's levels. There's levels to it. That's why we talk legendary.
Okay. All right.
It's levels to it. It's levels to it.
So again, everyone, if you are a chief, you are considered a Hall of
Fame. Yeah.
And
believe that. Because we say Navy Chief, Navy Pride. We say that in unison.
Yes.
Don't nobody go to Navy Chief, Navy Pride. You say that in unison.
Okay. But some people.
So you're going to say, oh, wow, he or she is weak. So they said it, they still said it strong, but they weak.
You can say it's strong, but performance can be otherwise.
That's why we grade them accordingly.
Okay.
We grade them accordingly. That's a fact. We just grade them accordingly. It ain't like no. Again, you know the legendary ones because they stand out. They stand out because they're chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just not a chief. They're a chief.
Right. So it's like the Grammys. You know, everyone make music, but everybody don't get a Grammy. You know,
That's the legendary stuff. Yeah. That's the legendary stuff. But everybody making music.
Okay, I guess it's
Rather you bought an Eminem song or album, you still listen to it though.
I did.
You still watch the video. But you never bought have you downloaded Eminem?
I can't. No, I think the first one. The you know.
I might have got the first
one. Yeah. I think I got the first one.
But he had a lot of music out there.
He did.
I just want you to know, like, because not a lot of people download Eminem. They listen to him. But anyway, he's legendary though.
To some crowds.
To some crowds. Not just the rapper.
All right, you know, I was just trying to.
No, we always had these conversations. We always discuss them. We always talk about them. Others as well.
Right.
You know, people. How did he get it? Tell me the criteria. If someone lays down the criteria, please tell me the criteria of who gets the jacket. If you make it make sense, then by all means, I ride with you.
Okay.
I ride with you. Anybody. Any chief. I ride with you. Like let's talk about it.
We have this conversation.
Let's talk about it. Oh yeah. But I've been in the trenches, so I know what it looks like.
Okay.
You know, I know what it looks like. I can back that up. That's too easy.
All right.
That's too ezy. Yeah, that's too easy.
So what else been going on, man?
Nothing, man. Just working with a lot of people, talking with a lot of people. You and I doing things together. That's opening up a whole lot of other things for us to do and collab with other people and do some things. So again, it's just all with the mindset of just giving back, and that's just our calling, and have fun doing it. You know, so just watching you grow Legendary 30, you know, just something that we talked about, and boom, you just was like, oh, I'm doing it, and boom, it happened. You know, good stuff, quality stuff, and keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. That's the plan. You know, it's a lot of memorabilia and cheap gear that's out there, but you know, my idea with the Legendary 30 brand was just something that's kind of different, kind of unique. You know, anchors all day. We get it, got it. You know, check. Especially when you first get them. You know, you put them on everything, but over a period of time, you know, it's just like you want to represent and show your pride, but you know, again, there's different ways to do it. So I try to come up with a kind of unique way to still, you know, show your chief pride, wear your chief wear, and everything like that. But
with the style too, the style and looking good, don't they?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So everybody gets to wear. Legendary 30 gear?
Yes.
Are they legendary?
That's the name of the brand.
Oh. Yeah. I just was making sure because we were talking about Hall of Fame, like, you know.
Yeah.
They still cheap though.
And you said that it's different, like the legendary Hall of Famers, you know. So
I got you.
Again, see, y'all see what you do.
I'm just
debate me.
I didn't. That's why I said I can talk about it all the time.
For y'all to know, like we have this conversation all the time. Yeah. So he just said, hey, the criteria. So anyone, ideas, suggestions, criterias, you know, maybe that's what we'll circle back to and see what all came in.
It's feedback.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
feedback.
We can come on and share the feedback. You know what I mean? With that. See what y'all got for the criteria to. Because a lot of people ask a lot of questions about that jacket.
Got a lot of opinions.
Yes, sir.
Got a lot of opinions.
Jacket, you know.
Yeah.
There's one I can't.
But they absolutely right to feel that way.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah, they are. But see, the part is, they always act like they never done nothing wrong.
No, it's
That
Okay, in leadership, it ain't about
right or wrong.
no one is perfect, and it's about bouncing back. It's about leading. It's about a lot of things, for as a master chief, going to the board, it's a difference in, hey, um, putting in the application, not being selected, vices. You never put in the application at all, Um, everyone is not privileged to take that trip up to Millington.
Right.
But then there's those that don't even want to take the trip at all.
Yeah, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a different conversation. It's a conversation that I would never understand because if someone took the time out to go there to select you, you should want to give that same thing back.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to have the experience to understand the process.
Right.
Because it's a process. That's how you grow in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Through selection, transition. We all didn't come in as E9s right away or E7s right away. We had to either came in as a E1 or E3 or O1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't jump through that transition. So it's like, once you go back and learn how that process works, so you can come back and help. Because some of these young people in here want to advance.
Yeah. And
it's a better conversation if you had the experience in doing it, instead of just saying, well, I think, or what such and such told me was, nah, I have that experience to speak on myself. I don't have to say, well, AP told me this, or whoever told me that, or Famous, or Kimmy, or Adanya. Nah, let me go watch my own experience to find out what it's about.
Yeah, speaking of Adanya, shout out to her. She was on the show before, giving some selection stories. She just recently retired.
Yeah.
That was real big,
Yeah.
A lot of guests, a lot of people showed up,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, and wished her well.
Yeah. Yeah.
30 years.
30 years.
That's what I can relate.
Again, it's a long time.
But again, shout out to her.
Yeah.
And wish her nothing but success and whatever she chooses to do in the next chapter.
Yeah.
But it was really great.
It was good.
Catching up with a lot of people on her recent retirement.
And then you meet other people there that's, oh yeah, I retired a month from now. Oh, I retired. You're like, wow. And these people doing 30 years. And it's like the time went by. Mm-hmm. You don't even realize it until you out. Or like that 30-day, it's really getting time for me to exit the door. Mm-hmm. So because you good. No matter if they said right now today, AP, you going to another command. We'll be like, oh, okay. But only thing that you're going to give me, I'm going to be a leader somewhere.
Right.
I'm going to be a leader somewhere, and I've been doing that for a while, so it's second nature.
Yes.
I could go in any organization and lead people.
Right.
No matter if you told me I was in charge of the trash service in the building. Okay, how many people I got? Yeah. Keyword, how many people I got? I ain't saying I was doing it, but I was leading the people. So you used to doing that at that high level. And now it's like, oh, wow. If I open my door to ask a question to somebody who's answering the question, that you had that comfort. Hey, come see me. But now, come see me. Yeah, hey, come see me. And they know what come see me means. Yeah. Like, oh man, I gotta go down here and talk to this dude about somebody did something. Come see me means somebody did something. Yeah. So, right, you're not having a conversation like that. You just, hey, what do I do today? Am I prepared for that transition? Yeah. Have I been talking to people? Have I been working with people? The process, how does that happen? What happens 30 days after I retire? Yeah. What's going to happen 60 days after I retire? Mm-hmm. What does that look like? You never seen it.
Yeah, those are real questions.
You never seen it, especially somebody that's been in 20 plus. Mm-hmm. You never had to deal with it. Mm-hmm. They get prepared for a job interview. What does that look like? Oh, just use it from like one of the sale of the quarter boards. Nah, it ain't like that.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not like that. You got to be able to convert your terminology to that company's terminology. Are you able to do that? Unless you're taking a job that's, within your field that you worked in. It's kind of easy to talk to people that knows what you're saying. But talking to a company that's Nike, they don't know nothing about no Department of LCPO.
Not at all.
They don't know the O2 level. What? What you talking about? 3M. What?
Yeah, I know what a foreman is. What's called foreman.
Yeah, they got managers, but it's they got athletes, but athletes are like the junior people. But it's still that you got to be able to transition your conversation to what they're requiring, especially like somebody that's not working with the military. So it's just things like that the resume, the terminology that you put in on your eval is different for a resume, so it's a lot of things that people aren't taxes, now you're getting one paycheck per month, but you used to getting two.
Make it work.
You got to make it work. You don't know if you're going to get 100% disability. You hoping. It sounds great, but you don't know.
So, I mean, some of those questions I can answer because it is different. Like you said before, just knowing that, okay, it's going to be stressful moving and going from one state to the next state, but the karma and all is what I don't have to worry about is my job because I know how to do that. Chances are you've been in the Navy or the military period, as long as we both have, you're going to know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
You got to build that village.
Get there and somebody that you're familiar with, or if not worked with before, and it becomes, that much easier, right? Hey, get the kids in school, the wife either transfers with you or find a job or whatever. It's kind of more stressful for them. But what we do day in and day out, it's kind of norm.
Yeah.
And going through this process, like you said, it's almost like that first duty station move when you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what to expect. And there is different programs out there available, but again, something you've been doing for so long and transitioning out of it is hard and it's unknown, and everyone's process is different.
Yeah.
And a lot of that depends on how they felt doing it.
Right.
Like some people was ready to go. And so everything that was put before them to execute, get done or whatever, they did it happily. They did it happily because they was ready to go.
They were ready to go.
Hurry up. I need to get this done. Some people, they might not be so ready to go, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, for whatever reason, because they just love what they do, not ready to go because they wasn't, financially stable,
right.
Or again, they was forced to go or whatever situation. And so when they telling that story, it's going to be different.
Right.
And some fear, they're going to tell the story different. So the point I'm making is just like, depending on who you ask, how their experience was, you're going to get so many different stories. Like you were saying with the VA stuff or whatever, like for me personally, like that's the kind of the most uneasy thing because like you said, you know what everybody wants.
You know what everybody wants. Yeah.
If it was so easy, everyone would have it, so it's just like, I would be more comfortable once that process is over for me. Yeah.
That's probably the only thing at this point that you really can't control. Right. You were so much in control of your career to a degree.
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh, wow, I got to retire. And that's the only thing I can't control. This is the last piece of this puzzle that will complete for me if I get that. Because it makes a difference. It makes a difference how you move.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been told.
Yeah, it makes a difference on how you move. But not saying at the same time, it's warranted. Again, we do things that a lot of people don't do. You know, I can recall growing up, man, it was a dude that lived on my block. His name was Kenny. He was in the Army, and he got tested. So they did some sort of test on him, but he'd never been right. Like, you could talk to him some days, and he having real conversations with you. And then, like, whatever happened to him, he got bad on drugs, and his mind was somewhere else. Like, it was bad, but I always remember it. He would always, like, go through these things at the beginning of the month because he was getting disability check. So that was his only, like, his income, probably with some other things, but it was like, oh, wow, that was this disability check that he was getting. Because I know beginning of the month is when he started acting like that and going through those things. But we deal with so many things mentally, you know, physically. You know, you think like your body is, oh, yeah, I did this, I'm great. Your body start talking to you when you really stop walking up and down them ladders.
Oh, yeah, man.
When you start walking on that 9 skid.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's people with carpal tunnel, or we wasn't used to sitting at a table, computer. That's not how we grew up. You know, we was out there, them steel toes was moving, you know, and it's like, now it's like, that was extra weight. The doctor told me, she said, oh yeah, your arch dropped. I said, what? She said, yeah, your arch dropped. As you got older and wear these boots, the arch, your foot, like the sole, it drops. Well, we took a pounding.
Yeah.
We took a pounding, man. 5 to 6 months left.
Nah, not even.
Not even. Shorter than that.
Yeah.
4 to 5. Okay. 4, 5. How do you feel?
You know, for me, it's kind of like a loaded question, right?
Well, we say, okay, 30 years, you've done a lot. You've seen a lot, experienced a lot. And your adult life, that's what you was doing. Yeah. From 18 to 48. Hey, that you just like, wow. Did it go by quick? Or was it like, I see myself grow?
I definitely saw myself grow, right? And what I would say is that at times it seemed like it was standing still, and then at times certain commands, because of fun, air quotes, fun that I was having,
right?
It ended too soon. You know,
I got you.
The people, you know, and sometimes the job too, even, you know what I mean? Because it was the challenge you was looking for, you know. When you walk into something, you know, questioning, is you built for it? Can you handle it? You know, and you rise to that challenge. You meet it head on, you know, and that sense of pride that you get, and the next one, and the next one, or, you know, the next goal that you met, you know, followed by the next goal, and make that command and that tour go by pretty quick. And, you know, again, it's just like, man, that was fast.
Yeah.
And again, some commands, and I'm speaking more so toward, you know, my earlier career, when you didn't really set those goals like you should have or whatever. And those ones was the ones I kind of just drug along, you know.
I got you.
As they say, I didn't do the time did me. You know, so it's more so like that.
I got you.
You know, but as far as growing inside of this organization, and maybe like definitely.
That's good how you broke that down, because you kind of judge commands off your success.
Right.
You know, um, they don't have to be like advancements or anything like that. It could just be things that you achieve, things that you have done. You know, either in the Navy or outside of the Navy. You know, some people get a degree, you know, as a second class. You know, so it's like, and they remember like, oh wow, I was a second class, or they bought a home when they were a second class. You know, so it's like certain, and they can remember like, oh wow, I was doing this, I was stationed here, and I was hanging out with this person, doing things with that person. So it's just those times, man, that you just like, wow, I did 30 years, and now it's like, oh wow, it's coming to an end. You know, now I have a different set of friends. You know, I still socialize with the people I serve with, but it's just really like a different set of friends that you know, become, you know, close to and share things with. So, it's, and now, like I said, yours coming to the end. So, and there's things that you probably had to have in play. Was you thinking about a job? Was you thinking about like, okay, what's the next move for me? What am I going to do next? What does it look like? We talked about this over a year, last year, around September, October time frame. And it's like, you got so many things that run through your head because you can do so many things. You know, I can go work over here because I know somebody, or I can go work over there because I know somebody, but is that what you really want to do? Right. You know, those things of, is that what I really want to do, or what do I want to do? Do I just want to get out and go to school? Right. We have a lot of things that run through our mind, like, you know, how does that look? Because again, we never seen it.
One of the things that I think is kind of like unfair is this identity thing, right? You know, I've been to TAPS twice, whatever they call it now.
Right,
you know
right.
And it's just like, hey, we did all this time in the service and everything, and it's just like explain it without trying to mention the service, you know, or the Navy, and stuff like that, or whatever. And even people, you know, like, what else are you? You know what I'm saying? Or other than a sailor, a master chief, or whatever.
What else are you?
It's just like, to me, that's kind of like an unfair question. You know, like every day for however many amount of years you decide to serve, you know, you say the Sailor's Creed, you know, I am a sailor. I am.
Right.
And then
it's in your head.
They want you to, you know, describe yourself without mentioning that. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to do.
To them civilians, you know, ask anybody in my neighborhood, in my block back home, I'm the guy that went to the Navy.
Yeah.
That's how they gonna remember me.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, when they talking to my mom about her son, the one that's in the Navy.
Right.
You know?
Or they say, hey, that boy's still in the Army?
Yeah.
Bro, you know I joined the Navy.
And the thing is, it's just like, even when I retire, they're gonna always bring it up. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
You know? But you want me to forget about it. You know? I mean, you got nicknames and stuff from growing up, that you got that nickname from something you said, did, or whatever. Yeah. And it just stays with you.
Right.
And no one says,
right.
You know, some people be like, yo, man, don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or because of that person that do call you that, they know how long they know you.
They know. Right. Right.
They know.
Right.
You know.
Where were they? That's where they were at in their life when they met you. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, we don't tell them that, hey.
Yeah.
No, it's just, okay, you carry that.
You carry that. Else. And those nicknames change. Yeah. Depending on where you at.
Right. And you just carry that wherever you go. And it's
right
just like, I don't have to not be proud of being a Master Chief or being in the Navy and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know who I'm talking to. Right. You know, and for example, like you said before, like job applications and interviews, you know, and I know how to change my diction, you know what I'm saying, so that they can understand what I'm saying. Right. But, you know, to just how all of a sudden it's just like, that ain't who I was no more. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's just kind of unfair. Okay. You know, that's just like, again, not to keep bringing it up, but, you know, Hall of Famer, right? You know, an athlete, they're going to be forever introduced as a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
any talk show, whatever show they're going to come on, they're going to be like the Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Or even if they didn't go to the Hall of Fame, they, you know, the former athlete, you know, or whoever, they don't just tell them to just disrobe all of that. You know? No, even if they go into a whole nother career,
yeah.
You know, Will Smith, he's an actor. Some people don't even know him as a rapper, but you know, in some places he's still announced as rapper,
right?
You know, in his introduction,
yeah,
you know,
because he has that pedigree,
right? You know, Shannon Sharp, you know, touchy right now,
right?
But you know, he's still an athlete. Some people don't. The point I was making is some people don't even know him as a Denver Bronco, you know, but.
Most people, young people, only know him as being on social media,
but
they never really watched him play. Even with the Ravens, and your Hall of Fame.
And every clip he's on right now, they say the former athlete.
The former athlete.
You know, you don't get to just disrobe that,
right?
But in this military, it's just like, you know, don't refer to yourself as that no more, except for November 11th. When you want your free,
when you want your benefit, yeah. You want your free food or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, because even like my sister,
or your parking spot.
Yeah,
when you want your parking spot.
Yeah, and people look for that veterans parking spot.
Right.
Yeah, people look for that. But my sister, she'll tell people like, she'll talk to somebody about me. She said, "Yeah, my brother, he's a Navy chief." That's the title that they give. Yeah, he was a Navy. He's a Navy chief. Like, you really didn't know what that is, but she, in her mind, it's like, oh, that's a big deal.
Right.
Because, you know, I went to a couple of things that he had and people showed up and did this and did that. And I'm like, oh, wow, he must be something.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah, Navy chief. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you just don't lose that title.
Mm-hmm. But that's what they do want us to do, though. To me, that's what you're saying. Like.
Well, some people, I think, whether they enjoyed it or they didn't, they try to, you know, disassociate themselves from it. And it's all right. Everybody got their own lane. Everybody didn't have a great time like me.
Right.
You know, I had a great time. Sure, I had some tough days. Who hasn't? You know, I'm human, just like anyone else. But I had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. I mean, a lot of fun. You know, more great days than I can even ever imagine in life. You know, I hear people like, oh, we're going out to this country, we're going to that country. Like, I was in Thailand, Bangkok, Africa, you know, Singapore, before I was 21 years old. Mm-hmm. Just hanging out by myself, you know. And I'm like, well, I'm a Philly kid, so I'm cool. I'm just having a ball. My friends could not even, they would lose their mind. So again, it's just, I had a great time. So some people have some disheartenments with the military. That's fine. Teach his own, you know. Sure, we had some tough days, some rough days, but I just won't blame it on the military as a whole. There was just some people.
Yeah.
You know, some people don't like that could be any job though. Yeah. That could be any job. That could be your own family member. Like, yo, you know. So you can judge an entity, but that's your own opinion. I gotta respect it.
So let me ask you, you've been removed for about 5 years, 6 years. This identity thing, did you go through that?
No, like I just, it got me out of a good situation, so that's why I'm faithful and loyal to it. Mm-hmm. You know, the road I was going, I already seen it, so I said, you know what, I gotta pivot to do something different. I can see where it was going, and I was just lucky enough to meet some great people along that run. And we always assume like, oh yeah, the people from down south, they this, they that. But the majority of my friends are from the South. The majority of my military friends are from the South. So it's like, and they cool, peaceful. You know,
about like after you got
I know, after I got out. So now I socialize with the majority of my retiree friends. You know, I still talk to active duty people quite often. But I socialize with, you know, veterans, you know, things like that. That's who I socialize with. I'm I mean, I still got friends that never served, but it's just, this is who I serve with, this is who I talk with. We speak the same language.
Yeah.
How you been? Oh man, my back, I laid in bed the whole day. You know, oh, my knees hurt. Oh, my back hurt. Oh, I got problems with this. I got that. Oh, you going to the VA? Hey, yeah, hey man, you better make that appointment. You know, hey, you need to work on that 100% because they got free dental at the VA as well. Take advantage of that free dental. You know, all of those other benefits. You sharing those ideas, those conversations, like, yo, like, I don't know if they were doing that in the early 90s, you know, when I came in. I don't know if they was having conversations, but our circle, that's what we talk about. You know, we getting older. And again, at the same time, we having fun doing it because we coming together and have, you know, people have meetups at certain places. You know, they come in town, people get together and do some certain things. So it's still cool. You still get to hang out with people that you serve with. You know, people come out of town. They come see you. You know, oh, let's meet up with such and such, you know, somewhere. Cigars, drinks, whatever, and that's it. You know, so it could be a struggle for most, but I use the people that I serve with, you know, to keep me going. Because you can get to some days where you like, it's tough. You know, it's tough, but you got to really lean on the people that you serve with. They there for a reason. You know, Chiefs, we there for a reason. You know, any pay grade for that matter, but I just know Chiefs, we've been through something together. Yeah. You know, and I have a lot of friends that aren't Chiefs that I serve with. But again, we still talk too. So, yeah, man, for me, it's good. Retirement's good. Like, it's good. You know, I'm getting to hang out with somebody. I'm, you know, podcasting, talking, our experiences, our situations, our lives. Good stuff, man. And I consistently learn and connecting people, you know, thinking about somebody like Herb Banks with the distillery up there in the Maryland, D.C. area. You know, him retiring and said, I'm going to open up a distillery just out of the blue. You know, like, yeah, some people are doing a lot of things, but I know this guy. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I know him. His own brand. He got his own liquor brand. Yeah. You know, and it's good, by the way. Absolutely. So, and it's just like, yo, why not support that? I drink. Yeah. Why not support him? You know, he got something that I drink, so okay. Yeah. Why not get my money soon? Whiskey and rum. Yes. So, but people take, you know, when they retire or separate or do whatever, they get out, they take risks. You know, like, what's the next thing? How I'm gonna get there? You know, I know what hard work looks like. You know, I know if I can get a surface warfare, air warfare pin, I know I can train and qualify to do any job that they ask me to do at this company. You know, I can go work somewhere else, even though I don't know what that rate does, but I can lead the people that's in there. Eventually, I'm gonna learn what they do, so I can go anywhere. Right. So I can do anything, just about. You know, but some people are afraid when it comes to retirement, because they don't know. I talked to a captain the other day, 30 years. And I asked him, I said, Captain, I said, sir, what's next? He couldn't even answer me because he was just like, and June 1st, he's officially retired. Well, May 30th, he's officially retired, but he's still like, he answered me, but he really didn't give the answer because he just don't know.
That's something I think, be afraid to say we don't know because, like you said, for so many years, we knew what was next. We knew. And sometimes it's okay to say, I don't know. If you plan accordingly, it's just like, I might just want to take a break for a few months, and just relax and gather my thoughts and my ideas. And that was one of the things that the military has helped me be able to do too. Mm-hmm. And that's explore things, kind of, again, grow up, like different professions you thought about. I go to school for this for a little while. I go to school for that for a little while, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Like, you really grow up in this organization, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The good thing about it is that, they encourage you. Secondary education is encouraged. It's not frowned upon, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it gives you that opportunity to kind of bounce around and and sit down and think. And when our retirement comes, it's okay to do the same thing again. Hey, what you gonna do next? I don't know. Hey, I'm gonna see what this retirement checking with a disability looks like. I might not have to do nothing else, and it's okay.
It's okay.
But as leaders, hey, what's the status of this or that? I don't know.
It's frowned upon. Oh, you're right.
No,
you're right.
When the last time you answered a question with I don't know. I'm gonna find out.
Nah, that's deep. No, you right about that.
I'm gonna find out. Oh, that's the answer.
You never say I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out means I don't know.
Right.
But I'm not gonna say I don't know.
No, you don't say I don't know.
So you can't even tell somebody if they really don't know what they're gonna do. They just can't say it.
That part. Oh wow. Sometimes it's okay to just say I don't know.
I don't know.
But to some of us, that's difficult.
Yeah. Like you just said what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How you been charged?
Those 3 words had so much judgment on a person in the military. Yeah. A senior military person.
Senior leaders.
Yeah, you couldn't even say that. I'm gonna go find out. I'm gonna get right back with you. That's what you said.
That.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? I
don't know. But it should be okay to say it with a smile. I don't know. And you taking a puff on, like, I don't know.
You gotta wait till you out.
Well, man, I'm just saying. Yeah, what are you puffing on cigars?
Yeah, okay. My mind.
Yeah,
automatically just went.
Yeah, wait till you get out and do all that stuff. Yeah. And it's okay. But you got to have things in order.
Yeah.
You got to have things in order to do that. Getting out and not having a plan. Even people do 20 years, they still don't have a plan. And it's okay. Mm-hmm. But if you have a family and your income isn't right, you got to make really sound and smart decisions financially to make sure, because your way of spending changes, but you can still have fun. You still have fun. It's just different levels. But some people just get out and still have some really financial issues that they probably should have took care of well before they either separated or retired. Because again, getting that paycheck, the 1st and the 15th, it's gravy. Sometimes you got paid 3 times in a month. Sometimes you got tax free depending on where you at.
Oh yeah, that's love.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you ain't spend a dime in 6 months. Coming home to 10 plus racks, oh wow, this is it all gone, in about 2-3 months. Yeah. But you seen some things, you develop some things, some habits. So when you retire, it's like, okay, now if you want to work and still collect 3 checks, if you get a disability check, a retirement check, and you got another job somewhere, that's all good, But again, it all depends on what you got going on. Mm-hmm. It all depends on what you got going on, but you can make 2 checks work. You can really make 2 checks work, but you got to have some things in order. Yeah. And depending on how many years you put in and things like that. Right. To even look at people that's dual military, 2 people retired. Mm-hmm. Certain pay grade, it both could be chiefs, 100% disability, and they can still probably have issues financially in the house. They can still have issues because things ain't being taken care of. I hear the stories, and I'm just like, yeah, y'all tripping, but all right. I understand y'all, y'all look good though. Mm-hmm. Yeah, y'all look real good, but teachers don't, not nobody's hustle.
And it was a command financial specialist.
And it was a command financial specialist.
This is not true. That's not
true. No, we messing around. But no, it's just those times, man, you can enjoy life after that. But you still gotta be surrounded by a village. It takes a village. That village helps you transition out, and they still stick around. You still talk to them. You still communicate with them. You still meet up with them. You still do things with them. But it can be a tough transition as well if you just don't have those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's why I always try to stick with the people, check up on them, shoot them a text every now and again, something. Because I know they may look good, but some days they ain't feeling good.
Yeah, it's overwhelming, man. They've been times I have my, overwhelming moments, what I'm saying? Just like TAPS class and everything, that's a lot of information being thrown at you in that 3-day period, in my opinion, TAPS should be at least 3 weeks, if not a month or a couple of months, you know what I'm saying? Because the transition into this organization, they take us away from everything, all distractions, and we go to boot camp and everyone is set, everyone bandwidth is set at the same level. And when we, go to TAPS or whatever it's called, for one, half the time, the command or whatever is still bothering you, messing with you. Right. They just trying to hurry up and get out of there, and you want to go through this, or you want to stop for lunch, or you want to just speed through this right quick.
You should be reading.
Right. And to me, it's just like we are given the resources for a lot of things to where to go do, but I think when you go to TAPS, you should walk out of TAPS with a resume in hand.
Yeah.
Not just, but these are the days that we do it and you can come back. Like, no, walk out of there with a resume, the suits, the boots, let's walk out of there with a couple of suits, what I'm saying, or whatever. Yeah. Hey, let's walk out of TAPS with a LinkedIn account, with the professional picture. You know what I'm saying? Right. And all this type of stuff. Right. It's a lot of, okay, welcome. This is what's available. Right. Here's a schedule or a calendar. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Because if you think about it, that'd be the perfect time for the majority of people. Let's say they got, if the suits, the booth people, they became this on site where they're doing the training, doing the TAPS class, they measured everybody right there.
Yeah.
Just measured. I'm measuring you right here. They probably be asking too much and say, well, Dad, you know what? Hey, just bring me back a suit that I can try on and I can do a photo shoot. These are the things that they should be offering because we ain't thinking about that. So on your resume, you want to have a nice picture. I'm going to get a photographer here. Y'all can get at best, top up to go with your resume picture. I'm giving you a resume when you're walking out of here. Like I'm teaching it to you, but I'm going to give you one when you walk out of here. Based off of everything and it's not just the companies that working alongside the class, it's just the member as well. You have to see it because sometimes they're like, I don't need that. I'm good. I don't need that. But then when it comes down to it, you really need it.
Yeah. And again, you really need it. Like I said, I understand that, they let you know, like, hey, during the lunch, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you come in tomorrow, they'll be back to taking the pictures and stuff like that or whatever. But to a lot of people, time is crazy, and again, that's just my opinion. I think that class should be, a couple of weeks, if not, 2 months or something, and just
like how boot camp was for 8 weeks minimum.
Transition out.
You should be in a transition for like it. You right. That should be about 2 months, if not longer.
Yeah. Take me away from all distractions.
Yeah. Let me go TAD.
Yeah. I'm going TAD.
Yeah.
And get all this stuff in order. And okay, cool. And we make a lot of people feel better about retirement. You know what I'm saying? And they might be able to answer that question a little better at the conclusion, like what's next? Well, you know what, I got my little resume now and I got this, that, and the third, and any of them don't want to use none of it. I just got one.
I just got one. It's just in case.
Just in case.
But I'm ready. Just in case. Whatever I decide, I got one ready. With a picture already on it. It's good to go.
But and they say go twice, and that's the crazy part. They tell you, hey, make sure you go twice. Right? But one long time. And I can get everything I need.
Because you gave me everything I needed when I entered.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't get, especially I would say that should be for people that's doing 20 over. Or some special cases where you close to like maybe 15, some medical retirement. But anybody with 20 over should definitely have It probably at a minimum of a month.
Mhm.
It's a lot of information that you gotta get.
Like,
Yeah. Great combo, man. We talked about a lot of things today. It's you and I, and we just didn't even touch the surface. But I'm here, bro, just so you know, because again, I've been through the transition.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. I'm here. You know, the village. We here.
Yeah,
So
I got a team.
yeah. You got to. You got to have one. So last thing I'm gonna ask you, who? And we're gonna talk some hip hop stuff real quick before we ride about it.
Okay.
What like group or crew that had the biggest fan base? And I'm gonna give you some names.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off with Dipset and No Limit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Dipset,
That's
No Limit.
crazy. So the question is, which one had
Bigger fan base. Like, I ain't saying the best MCs, the bigger fan base.
Wow, why you do that? Because, Dipset, it's like they started a whole movement,
Mhm.
but you could say No Limit did too. They was dropping albums left and right almost every week.
Yeah.
Man, that.
Yeah.
I'm from the South.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I don't think there is no, wrong answer,
It's not.
but I'm gonna just say,
People listen. That's it.
I'm gonna say,
I got more though, so I mean, all right.
Okay.
I got more names to go after that.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was just between them
No,
two.
I got more names to go
Keep
after that.
going, keep going.
No, but no, you gotta get those two.
Okay.
Pick
so
one of those,
between-
then I'm gonna go against somebody else.
I'm gonna just say Dipset simply because of the fact that they're still around. Like
Okay.
Cam's doing what Cam do, making it relevant. No, but that's hard too because them chips or whatever like that.
Rap Snacks.
That's P right there.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Like Jim Jones, he's still making music. But I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go No Limit.
No Limit. Okay.
That's
All
my final answer. I know.
No Limit.
I know I switched up at the last minute, but I'm gonna go.
It's okay to call it audible.
Yeah.
All right. No Limit. Dungeon Family. Yeah.
Stuff not even fair, man. I'm gonna go Dungeon Family. Because as far as what I listen to, it's definitely more Dungeon Family
Okay.
than No Limit, despite all those albums that came out.
Every week.
I'm
Strong.
going Dungeon Family. I was
All right.
listening to some Outkast a few days ago.
Okay. Dungeon Family, Dog Pound.
I'm gonna stay with the Dungeon Family.
Okay.
The Dog Pound. That's all of them.
That's all
That's
of
Corrupt, Daz. Snoop, all of them.
Yeah.
I guess you would throw Warren G in that mix
Warren
too,
G,
but,
Nate Dogg.
as far as the music collectively,
Yeah.
Dog Pound or Dungeon Family, I'm gonna go with Dungeon.
Dungeon Family.
Yeah.
Dungeon Family, Cash Money.
Um, I throw some Juvie on every once in a while.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because.
Just because.
Wayne, he has so many different levels of Wayne.
Right.
I listen to Get Your Roll on there once in a while too, for nostalgia's sake, and stay fly. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna stick with the Dungeon Family.
Dungeon Family.
Yeah.
All right. Dungeon Family, Rockefeller.
There ain't no more Rockefeller.
Well, it was.
Ain't no Rockefeller.
It was then.
Rockefeller couldn't even stay with Rockefeller.
Come
So,
on, man.
I'm
Come on, man.
Again, Dungeon Family.
Okay. Dungeon Family, Rough Riders. I'm just asking the question. I got one more. The final one after this. Dungeon Family, Rough Riders. That's a tough one there, but you know. Yeah. The next one's gonna be tougher. I promise you.
Because you got X and then you got the Locks.
Yeah.
Eve. I'm sure people don't even know Eve, who Eve is.
Really is. Yeah.
Rap or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
There's a cat, Dragon.
Dragon.
Him and Luda. Not Luda, but him and Juvie. You know, that's pretty nice. But I'm going to stay Dungeon. That's a tough one, but I'm going to stay Dungeon. Yeah, I listen to those Outkast albums a lot.
Okay. Dungeon Family, this is the last one.
Please, thank you.
Wu-Tang. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. I'm trying to give it to you. I'm trying to give it to you, man. You stayed in the South for a very long time. I got you. I got you.
Rockefeller.
Yeah.
All that
now I want you to give me all of that. All the
come on,
Outkast, you kept saying. That's all you kept saying. I know you ain't go, Goody Mob. I got all of that.
Yeah.
You know.
What's
my boy who was singing the joint with the hook?
You gotta watch out for the
hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was nice. But I'm saying you gave me all of that out of the Dungeon Family. I'm saying Dungeon Family, Wu-Tang.
You gotta go with Wu-Tang.
Oh.
Like you have to.
You can't go against it.
Yeah, I got 2 pound bottles in there. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 pounds in the closet now.
Yeah, you couldn't go against it. I'm sure some people probably disagree, but there's no way you can go against it.
Yeah, man, you got it. That's a setup, man.
You can't go against it.
Setup, you gotta go with Wu-Tang, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
That was a little hip hop fun
on the shelf. Ghostface.
Yeah,
Ghostface. He came out recently saying that on some of them albums that we trying to figure out what the hell he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, he was just throwing words together.
I read that.
Didn't make no sense.
I read that.
Like, wow, man. You
and I'm thinking you really spitting some stuff,
man,
and you just.
Know what I'm saying? If we trying to we
decipher what you really saying
out of nothing.
Nothing.
There was nothing to decipher. Jokes on us.
Yeah.
Like, he could have kept.
But the beat behind it was good, so it kind of just flowed.
He could have kept that too. Went out on top.
I don't look at him.
When I read that, man, it was the Iron Man. I started to go back and listen to it all over again.
But you can hear it. You can hear it.
In real time, I was
you can
like,
hear it.
yo, what?
Yeah, you can hear it. When he said it, it's like, oh, I hear it.
Yeah.
Like, you listen to it differently. Like, oh, I hear what he's saying. Nothing, but it just rhymes.
Right.
I'm trying to decipher what he really saying.
Yeah.
Because they came out with something totally different. It's like, oh, they saying some new terminology.
And they was just dumb. They got us. Oh man. Yeah, that's wild, man.
Ghostface, man. But yeah, man. It was fun, man.
No doubt, man. Till next time, man.
Till next time.